Alright guys, sorry for the delay between uploads. My last video got me into a little bit of trouble, and it wasn't any of the images, it was just the commentary over the images. Yeah, something I said about someone caused a bit of an uproar on a subreddit community, and damn, my videos only get like 500 views, so the chances of that happening, yeah, was quite blown away and pushed back a little bit. So yeah, the last thing I want from these videos is controversy. Yeah, this channel, that's not the objective with this channel. It's just to express myself in a creative way, and yeah, the last thing I thought I would cop is criticism. So yeah, I took a little bit of time off, reevaluated the style I want to do. Like, is it worth it? Is the uproar worth it? And from the little chaos that I created, I've established that I'm going to mostly let the images do the talking. I'm not going to get into detail about individual characters and assumptions made from their appearance, or yeah, so might mean a little bit less personality and jokes from my point of view, but you know, if the expense of making little assumptions is going to cause a bit of an uproar, then yeah, I'll just leave those parts out. So I'll still provide a brief commentary, not on every single photo, just when necessary, and just a little outline or just a little thought process behind the images as I was taking them. And yeah, as I said before, not go into as much detail about the individual characters. Having said that, it's good to be back, and yeah, let's get into the swing of things. So we're starting in my favourite spot to start at and warm up in, the front of Flinders Street Station. There's just a lot of chaos, a lot of people everywhere, and yeah, it's just good to get the reflexes going. So yep, let's get into it. I'm not a fan of photographing political rallies or protests. So anyway, I was looking for people walking the opposite direction of the rally, almost to display a bit of an anti-order, against a crowd attitude. So these two guys stumbled across my frame. Vibrancy in clothing or hair, it's always a trigger for me, as with most photographers really. I'm getting Beatles vibes from this picture, if there were only one Beatle and that Beatle happened to be a skater. So there was a patch of killer lighting here, and I was just waiting patiently for someone to walk in it and grace it. And I managed to get this, probably one of my favourite shots of the day. That brown suit is just chef's kiss. Mwah. So I wanted to utilise the movie poster in the background and add a little subject to create almost a new movie poster using the movie poster. And yeah, I came up with this. So I was waiting for someone to not only walk past, but turn their head and glance at the mannequins, and I got pretty lucky when this lady walked into my frame.
Biraz güneş görürüz bak. Güneş yok. Bak.
So the blue jumper triggered me straight away, but the blue door as well, they just complemented each other. So I had this shot framed up until this kid jumped right in front of the frame and gave me a whole different picture. And this was the composition I was originally going for. So I'm very drawn to the way people of Asian descent dress, particularly the women. Their style is just unique and almost anime-like, and the men have great style too. I'm very happy with this image too. This photo is pretty dope, guys. I had to get pretty up and close into this guy's face, but he didn't seem to mind at all. Sometimes it's all about quick reflexes. I saw him lighting up at the corner of my eye, and I just threw my camera up and managed to snap it. So I really like this image too. The way the sun perfectly lights up their faces and juxtaposes the highlights and the shadows, and the color coordination was pretty bang on too. So down this street, which is Chinatown, at this time of the day, the position of the sun creates really dynamic and interesting highlights and shadows, and many different contrasting patches of light. So I spent a while down this street just playing with the different lighting opportunities. And these two are two of my better shots of the day, the saturated colors and the contrast between the highlights and shadows. Now this one was up there with one of my favorite shots of the day, and the only time I actually celebrated when I took the photo, because I was waiting there for a while. Boom. Not only waiting for someone to walk into that more quiet part of the street, but to walk into that beaming patch of light, and yeah, she walked perfectly in the light and made the image. I needed a subject, and yeah, one of my favorite shots of the day. Window reflection shots are good fun to experiment with, especially if you have a clear subject and just a lot of reflections from the window. So I love that this woman just decided to run as soon as she came in frame of my camera. Something a bit more interesting than just walking. So this image represents the free-spirited inner child in myself and a lot of people. Even the Keith Haring matching bottoms and tops, and just his body language in general, just very carefree. And I managed to contrast with the child in the foreground who is not in focus, her more slouched down, different mentality, attitude. One is very happy to be walking and the other is not. And here's some final images I took just as my body cam died, and I was shattered because it was golden hour lighting, and yeah, just the lighting on the face was perfect. And lastly, this guy reminded me of a RuneScape level 3 noob character. I said I won't get into details about individual people in the images, but this one I can't help. Anyone that's played old school RuneScape knows what I'm talking about. Okay, and that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know which image was your personal favorite, even if there were multiple. I really enjoy reading the feedback and yeah, just knowing other people's perspectives on the photos. So if you haven't seen my previous street photography videos, there's another 5 episodes already up. So yeah, I encourage you to go ahead and give it a bit of a watch, and yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys soon.